My name is Dan Hughes. Uh, if anybody would know who I am, it was for my 34 years on national television on one of America's most popular televised shopping channels on cable. And a couple years ago, that changed. And I've been writing now for, I guess, a little over 8 years. And writing was really, to me, more of a hobby and a way of putting aside the stress levels of a corporate life, and it was a hobby. But there was always this whisper, this dream that maybe I could be a full-time published author. Um, it takes a while to get that dream to come to fruition, and you need help. You need people like Roger, who you'll meet. Uh, I have written 7 books, four of which are published, two of which are bestsellers. And the latest release, which just happened a few days ago, uh, Roger and I are working on the promotional package to see if we can't make that the third bestseller. This is what I learned very quickly in the publishing world. The old adage of it's not what you know, it's who you know. And I didn't know nobody. Okay. I knew very few people in the publishing world. And even having been on national television meant absolutely nothing to literary agents and most traditional publishing houses. Uh, every query letter I wrote was rejected. Every agent that I spoke to was too busy to return phone calls. I found out about American Real Publishing on a Facebook ad, like this one, and it literally changed not only the course of my professional life, but I've met amazing people through the process. And the smartest decision I think I've ever made was just simply pick up the phone and call this guy. I read a statistic somewhere that 80 to 85% of all Americans say that they'd like to write a book. And I understand that. Um, I know the chances of someone writing one book and becoming a huge success, that isn't necessarily realistic. But to write a book and actually get it out there to an audience that can see it, can read it, purchase it, is is a viable thing that can be done. The frustrating part is that there are so many of these hybrid publishing companies that you're the bottom line to them. It's your check that they seem to be most concerned with. And I ran into that. I read the comments on Facebook of people who say, "Oh, it's a scam." And they are out there. So you've got to make the right decisions. And it starts with really getting to know the people that are behind the publishing and what their goals are. And if their goals are to help people to become successful, to get their message out there, to assist them in every way possible, they take equal partnership, equal love for your book project at American Real Publishing. And that was something completely different than I had ever experienced. Um, I've published 3 books through them. I have a fourth coming out soon. And this will be a continued relationship that I hope to have for many, many years. And they're not just a company, these people have become my friends. It's a completely different world. Uh, One of the other factors that was really important to me was that I would have control over my own work. Um, and it's not so much ego, but those of you who have taken the time to write a book, that's your baby. And nobody wants to be told they have an ugly baby. So the editing process is sometimes painful, but you work with people as a team. Little side note, I happen to be an adult dyslexic. I was diagnosed when I was 8 years of age. I've lived with it my whole life. The fact that I am now a published author and a best-selling author is more of a surprise to myself than it probably is to my high school English teachers. But working with the editors and their patients, um, I'm not an artist, so this is shameful marketing plug. Uh, this was the first book that I published with American Real, and it's called Stealing the Sky. And I worked with the artist who does the cover art, and we argued and we fought and we laughed until it was exactly what I dreamed it to be. And even though they've been doing what they do for years, and I was the new guy, never once did they say, no, this is the way we're going to do it because it's the way we've always done it. So it has been a true team effort. And that's been wonderful. And that makes all the difference in the world in terms of the entire experience. Today, there are a lot of hybrid publishers that are out there. And I urge you to look as many as you possibly can and trust your own instincts, trust your gut. When you get a chance to talk to these people, you'll hear a difference. You'll hear a difference in their voice, in their attitudes, in what their true foundation and goals are for what they want to do for new authors or people like myself who have built a relationship. And that difference will shine through. I I'm at a point in my professional life where I will only work with people that I trust. I've been burned too many times in the past. And there is a dream of writing a novel. And that can happen. It can come to fruition, but you need assistance. Nobody can do it on their own. And it's why I made the decision, and I didn't rush to it. That's why I made the decision to come with American Real Publishing. And it's changed what I do for a living. It has changed my life. Part of the process starts with a passion. It can't just be a whim or a desire or a fleeting thought because there is an investment involved. You have to invest in yourself. And because there are a myriad of hybrid publishers out there, you'll find some that say they'll do it very inexpensively, but your product is going to look like it. You need real editors. You need people who understand the publishing world. There's companies that charge huge amounts of money and take forever. AR, American Real, they're in the middle. And it's kind of like Goldilocks. The porridge wasn't too hot, it wasn't too cold, it was just right. And they always made me feel like I was one of their most important clients. And they didn't know me from my television career. Very few people did. But they treat all of their people that way. I'll also say this. I know authors now who are promoting that their book is coming out 10 to 12 months from now. American Real Publishing published my first book in less than 3 months. And last year at Christmas time, another shameful marketing plug. Here's my second bestseller. This is called Christmas in the Heartland. I came to Roger with that book and we did the impossible. From the time that I handed him the manuscript to the time that we physically had the book in print and available for sale. And then Roger and his marketing team, we put together an absolutely unique promotion that had never been done using social media and Facebook. In a span of 30 days, I sold more books than I had collectively for the other book and others that I had been working on. It's an investment in yourself. It's one that I will never regret. Because if I stayed in the route or the lane of traditional publishing, I'd be lost in the shuffle. I probably would still be waiting to have both books that are bestsellers even printed at this point. And I was unemployed. I went from a television career one day to unemployed with no income the next. So trying to replace that income as a full-time writer, it for me, it takes time. It wasn't just the ego of getting one book out. If that's your goal, then it's easily accessible. It's something you can reach. You're gonna have to spend a little bit of money to get the right people to help you out. And you can completely self-publish. Design your own artwork, do your own editing. Uh, can I say, again, as someone who is an adult dyslexic, don't do your own editing. That's that's the fastest way to sink a ship or a book. You need the eyes of professionals. And in this case, it's professionals who actually care.